Hello and welcome. Now, two women who had begun a 5-kilometer trek uphill to the Sabarimala Temple in the southern Indian state of Kerala were told to go back. Now, the women, who were being escorted by at least 300 riot police force personnel, were forced to retreat following pressure from the temple priests, who threatened to close the temple doors if any woman between the ages of 10 and 50 dared to enter. Now, the women, journalist Kavitha Jakkal and another woman activist Rehana Fatima, were being escorted by the riot police. They attempted to create history by entering the temple, but they were barely 500 meters away from the temple's gates when they were told to turn back. Today is the third day since the temple opened after the Supreme Court last month overturned a centuries-old ban on women of menstruating age or between 10 and 50 years from entering the Sabarimala Temple.
We are feeling very proud to come here, and you have seen how dangerous situations are we face today. And we walked 5 kilometers to Sabarimala, and just we stopped having only 10 meters to only 100 meters to the Sabarimala Temple.
I am an Ayyappa devotee. I have been coming to this temple from 24 years straight. So when Ayyappa has done so much for me, I will stay there. I will ensure that, whatever peaceful way women cannot enter, I will do such a thing.
And Wion's Siddharth MP reached the steps of the temple. He sent us this report.
The Sabarimala Temple in Kerala is now open for the third day, and today two women amidst tight police security wearing riot gear and carrying protective helmets and protective vests tried to walk towards the temple, and they were barely 100 meters away from the temple when a negotiation ensued between the police and these two women. And what happened there was that these women had to return because of the prevalent situation at the temple and also due to orders that were issued from higher ups. Well, the situation was that these women had to be brought down under high security and they were whisked away in a police van. When we spoke to the concerned police official, he said that they were trying to do their duty and enforce the Supreme Court's directive. But what had happened is there were a lot of children and there were a lot of issues up there at the temple, and a lot of people were gathered there. So that gave rise to a law and order sort of situation. And also the other problem that the police say that they faced was that the tantris and the people that perform the puja and those that assist the people who perform the puja at the temple were willing to actually not open the temple. So they tried to shut down the temple, and they said that if you let a woman inside, we will close the temple. So this was the situation that erupted up there in Sabarimala, and this is what forced the women to return along with the police. Well, the women while returning did say that we will come back, and now the situation is not right, but we will come back and go pray at Sabarimala. With video journalist Libin, this is Siddharth, World is One.
Now the latest on the missing Saudi Arabian journalist Jamal Khashoggi. US President has faced mounting criticism from US lawmakers for taking a soft stance on Saudi Arabia. Now, for the very first time, Donald Trump has acknowledged that Jamal Khashoggi is likely to be dead.
It certainly looks that way to me. It's very sad. It certainly looks that way. Just that we're waiting for some investigations and waiting for the results. And we'll have them very soon, and I think we'll be making a statement, a very strong statement. But we're waiting for the results of about 3 different investigations, and we should be able to get to the bottom fairly soon. And I'll see you on the plane.
The United States has given Saudi Arabia more time to investigate the disappearance of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. On Thursday, US President Donald Trump met for less than an hour with US Foreign Minister Mike Pompeo, who gave the president an update on his talks with Saudi and Turkish officials about the Khashoggi case. Pompeo had recommended giving the Saudis a few more days for the investigation.
We made clear to them that we take this matter with respect to Mr. Khashoggi very seriously. They made clear to me that they too understand the serious nature of the disappearance of Mr. Khashoggi. They also assured me that they will conduct a complete, thorough investigation of all of the facts surrounding Mr. Khashoggi, and that they will do so in a timely fashion. And that this report itself will be transparent for everyone to see, to ask questions about, and to inquire with respect to its thoroughness. And I told President Trump this morning that we ought to give them a few more days to complete that, so that we too have a complete understanding of the facts surrounding that, at which point we can make decisions about how or if the United States should respond to the incident surrounding Mr. Khashoggi. When I traveled and met with President Erdogan, he talked to me about the incident. He told me that they were conducting their own investigation. We had a chance to meet with some of the team involved with that. He assured me that they would share their results with the Saudis as well. So we do believe that between these two efforts, a complete picture will emerge for what actually transpired here. And we're working towards that. We're looking forward to that wrapping up quickly, and we expect that it will be done in that way.
Meanwhile, Pompeo's spokesperson has said that the U.S. foreign minister has neither heard a tape nor seen a transcript related to the disappearance of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The statement came after reports that Pompeo heard the alleged audio recording during his meeting with the Turkish officials in Ankara. It's only after Trump's meeting with Pompeo that U.S. Finance Minister Steven Mnuchin said that he will not be attending the upcoming financial summit in Saudi Arabia. Now, President Vladimir Putin of Russia has said that Moscow did not have enough information about the unexplained disappearance of the Saudi journalist to justify spoiling ties with Riyadh. Putin said that Russia did not really know what had happened in the case and that Moscow would wait for more details.
Мы должны дождаться результатов расследования. Как мы, Россия, можем начать портить отношения с Саудовской Аравией, не зная на самом деле о том, что там произошло.
The United Nations has called on Turkey to push for a UN investigation into the disappearance of the Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. European leaders are piling pressure on Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, two more U.S. executives have scrapped plans to attend the Saudi investor conference.
We want the Turkish government, which has unfortunately an abysmal record with the treatment of journalists on its own, as does Saudi Arabia, to step forward, to use this as an opportunity to move forward into the future, out of the past, and to do something to help bring transparency and put an end to this kind of brutal treatment of journalists, to send a message to the world that we want reporting, we want credible information, and we will protect journalists. We're going to put an end to the brutalization of journalists, government critics, dissidents, whatever you want to call them, who are out there.
Right, moving on, President Donald Trump has threatened to deploy military and close the U.S. border with Mexico if it does not halt a caravan of Central American migrants heading to the U.S. Trump tweeted, and I quote, "I must in the strongest of terms ask Mexico to stop this onslaught, and if unable to do so, I will call up the U.S. military and close our southern border," unquote. Several thousand Honduran migrants have moved this week through Guatemala attempting to cross into Mexico. Some hope to eventually enter the United States to escape violence and poverty. Central American migrants hiked from Honduras through a muddy jungle and residential streets, some toting babies along with backpacks. In Guatemala City, where migrant shelters filled with people, waves of people departed at daybreak on roads leading to Mexico. Incoming Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador said that his foreign minister designate will speak to U.S. Foreign Minister Mike Pompeo to explore a solution to the caravan issue. Stretching almost 2,000 miles, the U.S.-Mexican border is one of the busiest in the world, processing thousands of commuters daily. Trump, who has sought to curtail immigration and build a border wall on the Mexican border, this week threatened to halt aid if Central American governments did not act.
La necesidad y la crisis económica por culpa del gobierno, por eso nosotros tenemos que emigrar, y aparte de eso los tienen como secuestrados, estamos secuestrados aquí, no, tuvimos que meterlos por este guamil porque no nos dejan pasar, los están negando el derecho de emigrar.
Ese es el motivo de que yo voy saliendo del país, mi hijo tiene 4 meses de muerto.
Es una grosería lo que está haciendo el gobierno.
Y no quiero que ellos vuelvan a lo mismo también porque a ella me la tienen amenazada.